Imagine, for a moment, you are lying on soft grass, the kind that cushions every movement, your body sinking slightly into its comforting embrace. The air around you is cool and fresh, filled with the earthy scent of dew on leaves. You can hear the faint rustle of the trees as a soft breeze moves through the branches, a gentle, soothing sound. You close your eyes for a moment, letting the world around you fade into the background. Your mind, at first busy, begins to quiet, the rhythmic flow of breath bringing you deeper into stillness. Now, imagine that something shifts just a little. Maybe it's the soft rustling of the leaves turning into a more pronounced sound, or the breeze beginning to cool even further. It's not quite what you expected, but somehow your brain fills in the details, making everything feel normal. You can feel your body relaxing even more, the slight tension in your shoulders unwinding. But here's the interesting thing. How is it that your brain is creating this sense of normalcy? Why does the world feel so vividly real, even though there's no real way to see the experience directly? Your mind is always working to make sense of the world, to piece together the sensory signals it receives. The brain doesn't just passively experience the world, it actively creates it, stitching together a version of reality that feels continuous and coherent. It's not just a passive observer, it's a builder, an artist of perception. Even right now, as you're lying there, breathing deeply, your brain is busy predicting and filling in gaps in what you perceive. It's constantly filling in the blanks, making everything seem fluid and complete, even though, in reality, many things are not fully seen or understood. You might wonder, how does this process work? The world around you, every sound, every sensation, is not directly experienced by the mind. It is interpreted by your brain, which makes predictions and fills in details to complete the picture. The blind spot in your vision, for example, goes unnoticed because your brain automatically fills in the missing information based on what's around it. You never question it, never feel that something is missing, because the brain is so good at creating a seamless experience. But here's the fascinating part. The image of the world your mind creates is not necessarily the same as the objective reality. Your brain is constantly interpreting the signals it receives, mixing them with memories, emotions, and past experiences to create a version of the world that makes sense to you. The world you experience is your world, but it may not be the same as anyone else's. Your perceptions, influenced by your brain's unique wiring, are shaped by what you expect, how you feel, and what you've been through. Now, settle into this idea gently. Imagine the world you perceive is not fixed, but is instead an ongoing creation. It's a beautiful illusion, crafted by your brain just for you. With every breath, you can begin to see how your mind is both the creator and the observer, building a version of the world that makes you feel safe, at ease, and connected. As you relax deeper into this moment, begin to appreciate the comforting nature of this illusion. It is not deceptive. It is simply your mind's way of ensuring that you experience the world in a way that is both understandable and secure. You don't have to worry about what's real and what's not right now. Just let the idea settle softly in your mind. Your reality is a creation, and it is perfectly designed to help you feel connected, safe, and at peace. And as you breathe in deeply, feel that peace spreading throughout your body, knowing that reality, as you experience it, is exactly what your brain needs it to be. As you continue lying there in the calm, you start to notice something peculiar. The gentle rustle of the leaves, the occasional sound of the breeze, the warmth of the sunlight on your skin. Everything feels alive, but there's something more to it. A subtle shift in how your mind interprets these sensory details. Your body is at ease, but your brain is always busy, working behind the scenes, weaving these fragmented perceptions into a coherent story. You may not even realize it, but in this moment, your brain is not simply receiving data from the world. It is creating your experience. Imagine, for a moment, that you're walking through a crowded street. You hear voices and the soft patter of footsteps, the scent of fresh bread drifting through the air. But then, something strange happens. Your attention is drawn to a man standing by the corner, and as you focus on him, the world around him starts to blur. His features sharpen, your brain focuses on his presence, but you notice that the rest of the scene, perhaps the distant sound of traffic, the flicker of lights, the movement of people, is fuzzy, less distinct. This is your brain doing something extraordinary. It's actively highlighting what it deems important, while softening the less relevant aspects. Now pause for a moment to think. What's actually happening in your eyes? Your retinas are collecting a huge amount of sensory data, colors, light, shapes, and textures, yet in the blink of an eye. Your brain interprets this flood of information and condenses it into something understandable. The reality you see is not directly what is before your eyes, but rather a version your brain has crafted, based on predictions, expectations, and experience. Take a breath now. Feel your body sink deeper into relaxation, letting the rhythm of your breathing guide you into a peaceful awareness of this process. The illusion of clarity you experience, the sharpness of your vision, the distinctness of sounds is a constructed experience. Your brain constantly works to fill in gaps, to patch over missing details, so that you never feel the disorientation of incompleteness. You may not realize it, but there is a blind spot in your vision, a small gap in your field of view where your retinas meet. Yet you never perceive this spot because your brain seamlessly fills in the missing information, based on what it predicts should be there. As you continue to relax, begin to notice how often this process happens throughout the day. Every time you glance at something familiar, your brain expects to see it in a particular way. It doesn't need to recheck every detail it knows, based on experience, what's likely to happen. What you see isn't necessarily what's truly there, but is instead an interpretation based on assumptions, memories, and predictions. Your mind creates the world you see through a mix of sensory input and memory. The details you think you see are often influenced by past experiences. You expect certain things to appear in a certain way because your mind has already learned to anticipate them now. Consider this. When you look at a tree, your mind doesn't need to process every leaf, every branch, or the exact shape of the trunk. Instead, your brain recognizes patterns and fills in the rest. Your perception is a shortcut. It's as though your mind creates a portrait of reality, where the finer details are blurred or even imagined based on what it has learned in the past. Even more fascinating is that this process doesn't just apply to vision. It's happening in every sense: in your hearing, your touch, and even your sense of time. Your brain is constantly guessing and filling in gaps. When you hear someone's voice in a crowded room, your brain doesn't need to process every single sound it receives. It selects and focuses on the sounds that are most relevant, filtering out the noise. The rustle of leaves, the murmur of voices, the beep of a hornel are processed into a stream of meaning that helps you navigate the world without feeling overwhelmed by every minute detail. This process is constant, subtle, and often goes unnoticed. Yet, without it, we would be overwhelmed by the world. If we had to process every detail, every piece of sensory information, the world would become too complex to make sense of. So, your brain, in its brilliance, filters and focuses, simplifying your experience while crafting a world that feels seamless and coherent. The illusion of clarity is a testament to your brain's incredible ability to filter, prioritize, and create. It's not tricking you, but rather protecting you from sensory overload. Every day, your brain continuously provides you with a world that is composed, a world that feels real because it is structured in a way that allows you to exist in it comfortably, safely, and with meaning. And as you continue to relax, feel the comfort of knowing that this process is happening automatically, providing you with a calm, continuous experience of life. Take a deep breath now, and imagine you're standing on the edge of a beautiful lake at dusk. The water is calm, reflecting the soft colors of the fading sky. As you gaze at the horizon, a gentle breeze brushes against your face, the cool air carrying the scent of fresh earth and pine. The soft, rhythmic lapping of the water on the shore is the only sound, bringing a profound sense of peace. Now, think back for a moment. Picture a place you've visited many times before, park, a forest, or even a familiar street in your hometown. As you call up the memory of that place, the details come flooding back. The shape of the trees, the color of the sky, the sounds of the world around you. Even though you're no longer there, your brain brings this place back to life, in your mind, as if you were still standing there. What's fascinating about this process is how your brain doesn't just remember in the traditional sense it reconstructs. Every memory is like a puzzle where the pieces are taken from various moments and woven together to form the image of a place, a time, or a feeling. You might recall a conversation with a friend, but your brain doesn't store every single word of the conversation. Instead, it holds onto the emotion of the moment, the key events, and the general feeling of what was said, allowing you to recall it as a whole experience. It's as if your brain is constantly editing, trimming unnecessary details, and creating the most meaningful version of the past. Memory isn't a perfect recording device. The past is not an exact replica of what happened, but instead a reconstruction. Your brain is like an artist painting a picture of the past, selecting certain details to focus on while leaving others in the background. These selections are influenced by how you were feeling at the time, the significance of the moment, and even the predictions your brain made about what was going to happen next. It's almost like your mind creates a narrative from the fragments it's gathered, filling in the gaps to create a story that makes sense to you. Now, let's think about how your brain also uses these memories to predict the future. The more experiences you have, the more your brain learns to predict what's likely to happen next. This is how you know, without thinking, that the sun will rise tomorrow, that the sound of your alarm means you need to get up, or that walking into a room will lead to the familiar sights and sounds that you expect. You're not consciously thinking about every single action you take. Instead, your brain uses what it has learned from the past to anticipate the future. For example, as you sit here, you know that the gentle sound of the wind will continue to brush against your skin, that the calm of the lake will remain. But what if that sound suddenly changed? What if the breeze grew stronger and the lake's surface became choppy? You'd feel a shift in your body, a twinge of discomfort as your brain recalibrates its predictions, your mind constantly predicting. What will happen next might be momentarily thrown off, trying to make sense of the unexpected change. Your body's reaction to that uncertainty is an example of how deeply we rely on our predictions of reality to stay grounded. Your brain's predictive abilities don't just apply to what you can see or hear. They shape your emotions and expectations as well. Think about a situation where you're about to meet someone new. You may have some nervous anticipation, imagining the conversation and interaction. Your brain is predicting how things will unfold based on past experiences with similar situations. It can even influence how you feel before you've met the person, like feeling excited or anxious because of the predictions your mind has made. In fact, much of your daily experience is built on these predictions. When you wake up, your brain doesn't start from scratch. Instead, it relies on a mental framework built from previous experiences, which guides your actions and thoughts throughout the day. You might walk into the kitchen and reach for your coffee mug without thinking because your brain has already predicted that coffee is what you're likely to want. It's not a conscious decision. It's a pattern that has been repeated so often that your mind has automated it. But just as the past shapes the present, your expectations about the future shape your reality too. You might anticipate that your day will go a certain way, and your brain will filter everything you experience through that lens. The memories you hold, the predictions you make, and the emotions you feel are all part of the same process, the construction of your own reality, tailored just for you. As you continue to relax, allow yourself to gently reflect on how much of what you experience is not just what's happening now, but a combination of your past and your predictions for the future. You don't need to worry about the details. Just feel the soothing rhythm of your breath, knowing that your mind is constantly shaping your world to keep you feeling safe, comfortable, and at peace as you sit there, feeling the cool breeze brush past you. Your mind begins to wander. You think about time, the constant flow of moments, the steady progression from one second to the next. But as you reflect, you start to notice something peculiar. Time doesn't always feel the same, does it? There are moments when it seems to fly by, like when you're deeply engaged in something you love, and others when it feels like it drags on endlessly, like when you're waiting for something to happen. Take a moment to focus on the rhythm of your breath, the slow, steady rise and fall of your chest. The passage of time, for now, feels calm and consistent, each breath blending seamlessly into the next. But if you were to close your eyes and imagine yourself in a situation where you're excited, anxious, or in a rush, you might begin to feel as if time were somehow speeding up, slipping away too quickly. Have you ever noticed how, in moments of joy or intense focus, the world seems to move faster, like the hours just disappear without you even realizing it? Yet in contrast, when you're waiting or feeling stressed, those same hours feel like they stretch on, each minute dragging slowly. This is the subjectivity of time, how our perception of it is not as straightforward as the clock on the wall. Time is a fluid concept, shaped by your mind, your emotions, and the events that unfold around you. Your brain doesn't just track time, it experiences it, bending it, stretching it, making it feel like a soft, malleable thing. This is why the same hour can feel different depending on your emotional state. The past might feel distant, while the future might seem uncertain, and yet, both are filtered through the lens of your present experience. Close your eyes again, and think of a moment in the past, maybe a memory of a place you've been or a conversation you've had. As you recall the details, do you notice how some of them are clearer than others? You might remember the feeling of the moment, warmth of the sun on your face, or the sound of a loved one's voice, but the passage of time itself seems to blur. The memory isn't a precise, linear recollection. Instead, it's a series of snapshots, moments that your brain has chosen to remember, shaped by emotions, significance, and the flow of time itself. The past, like time, is fluid, always shifting, depending on how we experience it. As you let go of the past and bring your attention back to the present moment, consider how your perception of the future works in the same way. You may feel excited for what's to come, or maybe you feel a bit anxious about the unknown. Your mind begins to build predictions about the future, using the memories of the past to create a framework of what might happen next. These predictions influence how you feel in the present. You might imagine an event, a conversation, or a task you have ahead, and the anticipation of it shapes the present moment. Your mind creates a narrative of what will be, just as it creates a narrative of what has been, constantly updating the story of your life. This fluidity of time is not just about what's outside of you, but also about how you perceive yourself. The sense of self you carry is also shaped by time. Have you ever felt that the person you are today isn't quite the same as the person you were a year ago, or even a month ago? The sense of identity is also malleable. It shifts and evolves over time as you grow, as you experience new things, and as your mind incorporates new memories and predictions. Your sense of self isn't static, it's constantly being shaped by the passage of time, by the events you experience, and by the choices you make as you settle deeper into relaxation. You begin to understand that your experience of time is not fixed. It's influenced by the patterns your mind has learned, by the emotions you're feeling, and by the memories that are most vivid in your mind. Your perception of time and self are intertwined, both ever-changing and fluid, shaped by your brain's constant dance between the past, present, and future. And now, as you continue to breathe deeply, feel the gentle passage of time. Let it flow naturally, like the soft ripples on a calm lake, knowing that the time you're experiencing in this moment is simply one part of the ongoing story your mind is creating. With every breath, you are embracing the fluidity of time, letting go of the stresses of the past and the uncertainties of the future. Feel the calm wash over you as time becomes softer, more expansive, and more at peace with the moment. As you continue to relax, you might notice that your mind, though at peace, never truly rests. It is always at work, continuously analyzing, predicting, and creating. Every thought that arises in your mind, every feeling, is an intricate part of the constant narrative your brain is weaving. But here's something to consider: how much of what you experience is under your control. How much of what you perceive as you is actually shaped by your brain, moving and evolving in ways you might not even notice. Think back to a time when you suddenly felt a shift in your mood. Perhaps you were enjoying a peaceful moment, and then, without warning, a thought or an event made you feel uneasy, anxious, or even joyful. How did that happen? Was it something you consciously decided, or was it a change initiated by your brain's predictions, its way of processing the world around you? In reality, much of what we think of as control is an illusion, shaped by the predictive mechanisms of the brain. The mind constantly works to keep us in balance, to anticipate the future based on past experiences, and to shape our thoughts and emotions accordingly. Imagine, for a moment, that you are walking through a forest. The sunlight dapples through the leaves, and you feel the cool earth beneath your feet. You're at peace, yet something shifts. Your brain detects a change in the air, perhaps a slight rustle of leaves, a sound you hadn't expected. You tense, just for a second, and then the tension passes. What happened in that moment? Your brain didn't just react to the sound or the change, it predicted it. It anticipated that something might be coming, and it prepared your body for a reaction. The feeling of unease you experienced wasn't because something dangerous happened, but because your brain, relying on its knowledge of the world, created a response to something it thought was going to occur. It prepared you, emotionally and physically, for an event that might never have come. This is your mind's predictive nature at work, a system designed to keep you safe, to ensure you can react to potential threats before they become real. Now, take a moment to reflect on how often this happens. How many times during the day does your brain predict something before you consciously think about it? Every time you step outside, for instance, your mind is predicting the weather, the traffic, the steps you will take. When you hear a car's horn, your brain predicts it's an alert, or that the driver might be reacting to something. You don't consciously think about it, but your brain is constantly predicting the next step, filling in the gaps of your experience, and controlling your response without you even realizing it. In this way, the sense of self that you experience is not a single, static entity. It's a fluid, ever-evolving process, shaped by the predictions your brain is constantly making. The self is not fixed, it's in motion, shaped by memories, expectations, and the perceptions of reality that your brain creates. Think about how you feel in certain situations. When you're with friends, you might feel happy, at ease, and engaged because your brain has predicted that these social interactions will bring you comfort and connection. But when you are alone or in an unfamiliar place, your brain may predict feelings of discomfort or uncertainty, and your emotions shift accordingly. The idea of control, in this sense, is a dynamic process. It's not something you exert over the world, but something that arises from how your brain interprets the environment and anticipates your reactions. Now, as you breathe in deeply and slowly, bring your focus back to yourself. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest with each breath. The simple act of breathing, though seemingly automatic, is itself an example of this predictive process. Your body doesn't need to consciously remind itself to breathe. Your brain has already predicted that it needs air, and it has made sure the action continues effortlessly. The illusion of control lies in the fact that, while we may feel we're steering the ship, much of the navigation is already decided for us by the predictive systems of the brain. But here's the beauty of it. Even though the brain is constantly shaping our experience, there is peace in knowing that this process works seamlessly to keep us in balance. The brain's predictions, even if they feel unsettling at times, are designed to help us thrive in the world. The self, though ever-changing, is built upon these predictions, layered over time through experience, growth, and the continuous flow of new data that the brain collects. So, as you settle even deeper into this moment, with each breath, let go of the idea that you must control everything around you. The brain is already doing so much work for you, quietly managing the world and your place within it. Feel the relief in this realization that while the mind may be shaping your experience, it is also providing you with a sense of safety and comfort, guiding you gently through the flow of life. Your thoughts, your reactions, and your emotions are all part of a greater process, one that moves with the rhythm of your experience, like a river that gently carries you downstream toward the next moment, now that you've spent some time exploring the layers of reality, the way your mind constructs your experience of the world. Let's take a moment to slow down even more. The soft rhythm of your breath continues, steady and unhurried. As you inhale deeply, feel the coolness of the air, as it enters your lungs, and then, as you exhale, feel the warmth spreading through your chest, in and out, slowly, effortlessly each breath, a gentle reminder that you don't need to force anything, that you can simply be here, present in the moment. It's here, in this stillness, that you begin to realize something profound. Reality, as you know it, is not something to be worried about. It's not something to control or fix. The world around you, with all its complexity and unknowns, is simply what your brain needs it to be in order to make sense of it. And, in this moment, there's no need to question it, no need to doubt it. The illusion of reality is not a is a comfort, a necessity, a creation by your mind to allow you to navigate life's many uncertainties. Think back to the last time you lost track of time. Maybe it was while reading a book, walking in nature, or simply enjoying the company of friends. In those moments, time seemed to slip away, didn't it? It was as if the ticking of the clock had no power, no control over you. Instead, you were immersed in the moment, in the experience, and time itself seemed to stretch or shrink, depending on the pace of your thoughts. Time, like reality, is not something fixed. It is malleable, shaped by the experiences you are living. In the moment, and in this moment, time becomes whatever you need it to be, just as the world around you is a creation of your mind, fluid, adaptable, and peaceful. As you continue to relax, allow this thought to gently settle in. Reality is yours. It is a creation by your brain, yes, but it is also a creation that serves you, protects you, and grounds you in a way that feels safe. There is no need to resist it or try to change it. Instead, embrace it, for it is an essential part of your experience, and it is the gateway to peace. Just as your body breathes effortlessly, so too does your mind construct your experience with ease. And in this process, you can rest. Let go of the need to control or manipulate your perception. Allow the reality you experience to simply be what it is, knowing that it is a soft and necessary illusion that helps you live your life. This illusion of reality is not something to fear. It is what makes life feel whole, connected, and meaningful. The world, as it appears to you, is exactly what your mind needs to see, to feel grounded in your body and your life. Take another deep breath. Feel the air fill your lungs, and as you exhale, feel the release of tension from your body, from your mind. In this moment, you don't need to change anything. You don't need to fix anything. The illusion of reality you experience is exactly right for you, just as you are exactly right for this moment. Your mind has crafted a world that helps you feel safe, at ease, and connected. You don't need to control it, just relax into it, trusting that this world is perfectly created to guide you forward. As you continue to breathe gently, you realize that with each exhale, you are becoming more and more at peace with this illusion of reality. The world around you, as it shifts and changes, is not something to fear. It is a beautiful, fluid creation, one that allows you to experience life with wonder and calm. It is not a trick, but a necessary function of your mind, allowing you to experience the beauty of the world without feeling overwhelmed by its complexities. And so, as you settle deeper into this peaceful state, remember that you don't need to hold on to anything. The illusion of control, the illusion of reality, is simply part of who you are. It is your mind's gift to you, a gift that allows you to experience the world in a way that feels comforting, safe, and real as you settle deeper into the peaceful flow of your breath. You may begin to notice something subtle but important, the power of the present moment. It's easy to get caught up in thoughts about the past, to relive memories of what has happened, or to anxiously anticipate what might come next. But right now, in this quiet moment, all you really have is this present moment, and in it, you. Find that the reality around you begins to feel even softer, more fluid, and more manageable. Take another slow breath. As you inhale, notice how your body feels grounded in the present. You don't need to think about the future or dwell on the past. Simply feel the rhythm of your breathing, the rise and fall of your chest, the gentle sensation of air moving in and out. In this moment, time has no urgency, no force to push you forward or backward. It simply is. The present moment, while fleeting, is also where the mind does much of its work. It's in the now that the brain assembles your perception, taking all the data it receives through your senses and weaving it into a coherent experience. Your mind is constantly processing, predicting, and interpreting what's happening in real time, creating the reality you're experiencing right now. But just as the brain fills in the gaps when it interprets the world, it also shapes your experience of the present, the feelings of comfort, of relaxation, of peace. These are all part of how the brain makes the present feel whole, soothing, and meaningful. Imagine yourself, once again, in that peaceful natural setting you've come to know, the sound of birds, gently flapping their wings, the soft rustle of leaves in the trees, and the occasional sound of a twig snapping underfoot. As you listen, you realize that these moments, the sensations you're experiencing right now, are all framed by your mind, which weaves them together into a single, cohesive narrative. You are not merely experiencing a series of disconnected moments. Rather, your brain is creating the experience of a whole, pulling together each sensory cue into a unified reality that makes sense. But the reality of the present moment is more than just an illusion. It's an experience that brings a sense of wholeness, of being fully alive in this moment. The brain's ability to create this fluid experience is a gift, allowing you to feel connected to the world around you, even as it constantly reconstructs the world you perceive. And in this moment, you can simply surrender to it. You don't need to fight for control. You don't need to manage what's happening. Simply be here, present, and aware of the sensations as they unfold. Take a deep breath and feel the air filling your lungs, nourishing your body. With each exhale, feel yourself releasing the weight of time, of expectations, of all the things you think you need to do. In this moment, you are free from the constraints of past and future. Your brain may still be creating, still weaving its perceptions, but for now, you are at peace with this process. Time seems to slow, and the world around you feels less like something to understand and more like something to experience. This present moment, fleeting as it is, carries within it all that you need to feel connected to the world and to yourself. You don't need to worry about what has come before or what lies ahead. Right now, you are exactly where you need to be. Your mind, constantly working to predict and process, gives you the gift of now, a moment where reality is created, but also felt in the most peaceful, accepting way. Imagine that with each breath, the world around you becomes even more gentle, more in tune with your sense of peace. The sounds, the sensations, the sights, everything comes together in a perfect flow, in a dance of moments that are constantly being created and experienced in real time. The illusion of reality is not something to fear or resist. It is your mind's way of embracing the present, of filling the world around you with meaning, comfort, and ease. And as you continue to breathe, Let go of the need to think too deeply. Just breathe. Let the present moment continue to wash over you, knowing that this is where your mind thrives, where it creates, and where it offers you the peace of being fully here, fully present, in this gentle, ever-unfolding moment as you. Continue to breathe deeply, feeling each inhale as it fills your lungs and each exhale as it gently releases any remaining tension. You begin to reflect on a very interesting question. Who are you? Not just the name you go by or the roles you play in life, but the essence of your being. Have you ever wondered how much of your sense of self is truly you, and how much of it is simply constructed by your brain in a way that makes sense of the world around you? Close your eyes and imagine the image of yourself, perhaps the face you see in the mirror, or the feelings you associate with your identity. Now, think about how fluid that image is. One day, you might feel confident and strong, and the next, you may feel uncertain or vulnerable. How is it that the same person can feel completely different on different days, even though nothing fundamentally has changed? Your brain is constantly reshaping this image of who you are based on the emotions, thoughts, and experiences that you encounter. Your sense of self is not a fixed, static entity. It's a dynamic, evolving process that changes from moment to moment, day to day. Consider how you might perceive yourself in a social setting. When you're around others, your brain processes the reactions of those around you, interpreting their facial expressions, body language, and tone of voice. You begin to shape your sense of self based on those reactions. If someone smiles at you, you feel validated, confident, and seen. If someone frowns or avoids eye contact, you might feel insecure, questioning your place in the situation. Yet, in both of these moments, you are still the same person, just shaped by how others perceive you and how your mind interprets those reactions. But here's where it gets fascinating. Even when you are alone, your sense of self is still being created by your brain. You don't need the presence of others to form your identity. Your thoughts, your memories, your experiences, and even the way you interpret your own emotions are constantly at work, building the image of who you are in the moment. This is why you may wake up feeling like a completely different person on some days. Your brain has shifted its interpretation of yourself, shaped by what you've experienced or how you're feeling. Now, as you continue to relax, take a moment to acknowledge how freeing this can be. Your self-image is not fixed. It is not something you must hold on to desperately. It is fluid, changing as the moments pass. Just like time, your sense of self is shaped by your mind's perception, by what it anticipates and what it remembers. You don't have to be defined by a single moment or experience, because you are a constant process of change. The illusion of self, though deeply ingrained, is just another way your brain makes sense of the world. This fluidity is a reminder that you are not locked into a rigid definition of yourself. The very essence of who you are is shaped by the choices you make, the experiences you have, and the way you process them. You are not bound to a static identity. With each new thought, with each new experience, you are recreating yourself over and over again, like a painter returning to the canvas with fresh inspiration. Feel this freedom. With every deep breath you take, let go of any ideas of self that might feel limiting. Let your mind gently soften the boundaries of who you think you are, allowing yourself to simply be, without definition, without limitation, in this moment. You are simply you, and you are enough as you are, in all your fluidity and complexity now, as your body continues to relax deeper into the comfort of this moment. Think about how this perception of self allows you to let go of judgment, to rest peacefully in the knowledge that you are constantly evolving, constantly becoming. Your brain's work of constructing your reality and your identity is not something to fear. It is a gift that allows you to experience life in a dynamic and ever-changing way. The self you know today may be different tomorrow, but that's okay. You don't need to cling to an idea of yourself. You can simply be as you relax into the softness of the present moment. You may begin to notice how time feels different depending on the situation. Time, the ever-ticking clock, the measurable passage from one moment to the next, seems almost irrelevant when you are deeply at peace. Time feels like it stretches or shrinks, depending on where your attention lies. Think back to a moment when you felt completely immersed in something, a good book, an engaging conversation, a peaceful walk. In those moments, time flies without you even realizing it. You're absorbed in the activity, and the seconds turn into hours. On the other hand, there are those moments when time seems to drag on, perhaps during a long wait, or when you're feeling anxious, or when you're just stuck in the mundane. Every tick of the clock seems to stretch endlessly. What is it that causes these differences? Why does time seem so much slower when you're waiting for something, or when you're bored? In these moments, you're consciously aware of time. You're anticipating its passing, measuring it in your mind. But when you are truly immersed in something, time doesn't feel like a measurable quantity at all. Instead, it slips away unnoticed. This phenomenon is an example of how the brain doesn't just measure time, but experiences it. The perception of time is not a straightforward, clock-based calculation. It is deeply subjective. Your mind is constantly predicting the passage of time, drawing from memories and patterns of past experiences to create a sense of its flow. When your mind is highly focused, it loses track of the passing moments. It's only when your attention is scattered or distracted that you become aware of the passage of time, and it feels like it moves in slow motion. Now, let's gently turn our attention to another curious aspect of time, the experience of dreams. Have you ever woken up from a dream and felt like hours had passed, only to look at the clock and realize it's been only a few minutes? Dreams distort time, stretching it, bending it, and sometimes even collapsing it. In dreams, moments feel like entire lifetimes. Entire journeys can occur in the blink of an eye. Time has no rules in dreams. It moves however the mind chooses. A conversation with a loved one in a dream might seem to last hours, when in reality, it only lasted a few moments. In your dreams, you may experience flashbacks, or jump from one scene to the next with no sense of transition, as though time itself is malleable, not bound by the same linear constraints you experience when you're awake. Think back to a dream you've had. What was the feeling of time in that dream? Did you feel like you were living through an entire adventure in what seemed like mere moments? Or did time feel strangely stretched, where hours passed by in an endless loop? Your brain is so good at creating these experiences of time, at filling in the gaps, predicting and interpreting your sensory input, that you rarely question the passage of time in your dreams. You may jump from one moment to another, one place to the next, and yet time doesn't seem to matter. Dreams, in this way, are a perfect illustration of how our brain can bend the perception of time, making it seem fluid and ever-shifting. But how does this affect our waking world? If time is a creation of the mind, then reality itself is similarly constructed by the brain's interpretations. Your awareness of time, while seeming so real, is just another illusion. It's a model. created by the brain to help you navigate your experiences. But even in this model, there's a sense of beauty. The fact that time can feel different based on our focus, our emotions, and our experiences makes it mysterious. Something beyond the simple ticking of a clock as you continue to breathe, imagine. That time is not the fixed, linear force we often perceive it to be. Instead, it is a fluid, dynamic force. One that bends and stretches with each experience, each thought, each shift in perspective. Feel the peace that comes from knowing time does not dictate your life. You are not controlled by the passing seconds. Rather, you can embrace the soft, malleable nature of time. Just as you embrace the present moment, every breath you take is a moment in time, but it's more than just the passage of seconds. It is part of the greater illusion of reality, where the past and future exist only in the mind, and the present is the only place where true peace can be found. You do not need to measure time or chase it. Allow yourself to flow with it, knowing that you are part of the natural rhythm of the universe, where time is not a burden, but a gentle stream, carrying you forward at its own pace, as you breathe gently, sinking deeper into the calmness of this moment. Your mind begins to wander, but in a peaceful way. Have you ever stopped to think about how much of what you experience is actually a memory, not of something that happened just now, but of something that your mind has already stored and reshaped in order to make sense of the world? The brain, with its intricate processes, doesn't merely record events as they happen. Instead, it creates memories, experiences that are processed, filtered, and organized in a way that fits into the greater story of your life. Take a deep breath and imagine a place from your past, maybe a familiar room or a quiet street you used to walk down. As you picture it, notice how your mind brings up the details, the color of the walls, the scent in the air, the way the light falls in a certain spot. But here's the fascinating part. As you recall this memory, how much of it is truly accurate? Does the memory you're experiencing match exactly with the moment it came from? Or has your mind, over time, added new details, changed the color of the room, softened the shadows, or amplified the sounds? Memory, you see, is not a perfect record. It is a reconstruction, an interpretation of the past. This reconstruction is a vital part of how we understand our world and self. Our memories are not static images, frozen in time. They are dynamic, shifting, and constantly influenced by current experiences. When you recall something from years ago, you may notice that the memory seems to change based on where you are in life now, how you're feeling in the moment. The past is never fixed. It is always being reinterpreted by the brain's current perspective. Now, as you continue to relax, take a moment to reflect on how the past shapes your sense of self. Each memory you carry influences how you see the world today. The way you perceive people, places, and situations is not purely based on what's in front of you, but is deeply rooted in the memories that have shaped you. Your brain draws on these past experiences to predict what will happen next, to filter what's important and what's not, to create a version of reality that feels consistent and safe. Yet, this version of reality, just like your memories, is always evolving, always being reshaped. Think about how the senses of touch, sound, and sight have changed in the way you remember them. When you think of a place you used to visit often, do you remember the warmth of the air or the coolness of the floor? Is the smell the same as it was, or have you created a new memory of it based on other experiences you've had, your mind's? Narrative isn't built on a perfect recollection. It's built on the patterns it has formed over time. making each memory feel like a living experience, rather than a snapshot. This fluidity of memory is why certain places or events can feel like they've changed over the years. What was once a bright, joyful room might now feel like a quiet, distant place, not because the room itself has altered, but because your brain's interpretation of it has shifted. The moment in time may remain the same, but your memory of it has transformed. Just like the way time shifts and changes its perception as you let these thoughts settle. Reflect on how your own memories shape the way you experience the present. Right now, as you sit back and relax, your memories of the past are creating your current perception of the world. You are constantly reconstructing reality with the tools of your mind, your memories, your senses, and your brain's predictions. The reality you experience is a combination of all these influences, blending what was, what is, and what could be into a single, coherent story. Take another deep breath and allow this understanding to gently unfold. The world you see, the world you feel, is created by your mind, with the past shaping the present and the future still waiting to be written. You are both the author and the reader of this story, weaving together the threads of memory and experience into the world you now occupy. You are not bound by the past. You are simply guided by it, gently leading you forward as you continue your journey. As you continue to breathe deeply, sinking into the soothing rhythm of your breath, let's turn our attention to something even more mysterious, the world of dreams. When you fall asleep each night, your body rests, but your mind, surprisingly, becomes quite active. The realm of dreams is a fascinating place where time stretches and shrinks, where the rules of the waking world no longer apply, and where the line between reality and illusion becomes blurred. Think about the last dream you had. Do you remember the feeling of it? Maybe it was a place you've never been, or perhaps it was a conversation with someone you've never met. But in the dream, it all felt real, tangible, alive. The sights, the sounds, the emotions, they were all so vivid, as though you were experiencing them in real time. And yet, when you wake up, you realize that nothing in the dream really existed. It was a creation of your mind, woven together from fragments of your past, your thoughts, your desires, and perhaps even your subconscious fears. Dreams aware. The brain's imagination runs wild, free from the constraints of the waking world. They are constructed from the same materials as your reality memories, sensations, emotions, but in a place where time behaves differently. In dreams, hours can pass in what feels like mere minutes, or a single moment can stretch into what feels like an eternity. The rules of physics no longer apply. Objects float, time collapses, and people transform into strange, new versions of themselves. Your mind has created a world where everything is possible, yet none of it is real. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself in a dream. Perhaps you're walking through a familiar street, but suddenly the sky is a strange shade of purple, and the trees seem to bend and sway as though they're alive. In this world, you don't question these oddities. Everything feels natural, normal, even though your brain is actively distorting the very fabric of reality. You walk through this dream world with a sense of calm, knowing that even though things don't quite make sense, they still seem to fit together in a way that feels right. The most interesting part of dreams is how they play with memory and emotion. Have you ever dreamed of someone you haven't seen in years, or found yourself in a situation that seemed familiar, but at the same time completely new? Your brain, while dreaming, is still working to process emotions, resolve conflicts, and even confront fears. The world it creates is a reflection of what you've experienced and felt, but distorted through the lens of your unconscious mind. Now, as you breathe in deeply and exhale slowly, imagine yourself lying comfortably in your bed, feeling the weight of your body supported by the mattress. You are about to drift off, but as you do, your mind begins to slip into the dream world. You can feel your awareness gently sliding away from the conscious world, like stepping off the edge of a soft cloud. Your body remains still, but your mind is free to wander, to create, and to experience. The world around you starts to fade, and the dreamscape begins to take shape slowly, softly, and without effort in this dream world. You don't need to understand everything. You don't need to question the impossibilities. Just as in waking life, your brain is filling in gaps, shaping this dreamscape to reflect hidden desires, repressed thoughts, and unspoken emotions. The beauty of dreams lies in their ability to combine these fragments into something that feels real at the time, even though you know it's not. And in this fluid space, you can let go of control, surrendering to the peaceful flow of the dreaming mind. As you drift deeper into this gentle state of relaxation, remember that the dream world is a natural extension of your mind's creativity. It is not something to fear or resist, but a part of the mind's process of working through emotions and experiences. The dream world, just like the waking world, is a creation of your brain, a place where your mind can roam freely beyond the constraints of time, logic, and reality. Feel the comfort in knowing that dreams are just another form of reality, one where you are free to explore, to imagine, and to relax without judgment. You do not need to understand every dream or every thought. Simply let your mind wander, knowing that it is working to restore balance, to process the experiences of the day, and to bring you to a place of peace. As you continue to relax, you may start to notice something even more subtle. Time, the very thing that shapes our experiences, becomes increasingly less important in this moment. The present moment, right here, right now, begins to stretch and slow down, like the gentle ebb of waves coming ashore. When you let go of your worries, let go of the need to plan or control, you can start to feel the timelessness of this space where time no longer holds you, where the self is not bound by the ticking of the clock. This sensation, where time feels like it no longer controls your thoughts, is a reflection of how our sense of self is closely tied to the perception of time. You might think about the concept of identity, who you are, what you've done, where you're going. But if you pause for a moment and look inward, you may realize that much of what we consider to be ourself is simply a collection of memories and predictions. The person you think you are in this moment is not the same as the person you were yesterday, and neither is the same as the person you'll be tomorrow. Who you are is constantly shifting, changing, evolving, just like time itself. Imagine your identity as a river, flowing steadily, but never stagnant. It changes with the water's course, sometimes flowing gently, other times rushing quickly, but always moving forward, adapting to the terrain. Just as the river's course is shaped by the surrounding environment, so too is your sense of self, shaped by the world around you, the people you meet, the experiences you gather. But even more than that, your mind has a hand in shaping who you are in each moment. Your memories, emotions, and expectations combine to create an image of yourself, one that can feel as real as the physical world, even though it's constantly evolving. Take a moment to think about a time when you felt a shift in your identity. Maybe it was after a major life event, or perhaps it was something small, like a new interest or a change in perspective. This shift didn't happen suddenly, but over time, your brain took in new information, processed it, and updated your sense of who you are. In that moment, the person you were yesterday might have felt a little bit different from the person you are today. This is the brain's ability to update your sense of self, constantly reshaping your identity to fit with the ever-changing world around you. Your memories play a crucial role in this process. They don't simply record the past, they reconstruct it. When you think about a particular memory, your brain doesn't pull up an exact copy of the event. Instead, it gathers bits and pieces, the most important or emotionally charged details, and creates a version of the event that fits your current state of mind. If you remember a joyful occasion, you might recall the smiles, the laughter, the warmth of the moment. But the shadows of the event, the uncertainty, the awkward pauses are softened or blurred. Your mind has a natural tendency to highlight the pleasant parts, focusing on the positive aspects that make you feel good. But here's the fascinating part. Just as your memories are constantly being reshaped, so too is your perception of the future. Your mind is always predicting what will happen next, based on past experiences and current emotional states. Think about how you react when you're anticipating a meeting or a big event. Your brain starts to prepare your body for what's to come. It predicts how you will feel, what you will see, and how you will react, shaping your experience before it even happens. Your expectations are already at work, guiding you through what's to come, shaping how you perceive reality before it even unfolds. And yet, time is fluid. You are not bound by the past or the future. The self you are right now is perfectly in tune with the present moment. You do not need to carry the weight of past mistakes or future worries. Right now, you are exactly who you need to be, and your brain is constantly creating this version of yourself. You are not a fixed, static being. You are a fluid, evolving presence, shaped by every breath, every thought, every experience. As you continue to relax, let go of the need to define yourself by past experiences or future expectations. You are free from the need to control or understand every aspect of your being. The self is a creation, one that your brain shapes effortlessly, moment by moment. And in this realization, you find peace. The present moment is all you need. The future and the past exist only in the mind. But right now, in this peaceful space, you are free to be exactly who you are, without judgment, without pressure. Your brain, with its incredible ability to shape reality and identity, has provided you with the gift of now, a moment where you are simply yourself, as you are, in perfect harmony with the world around you. As you continue to breathe deeply, imagine the soft rhythm of your breath as it gently guides you into an even deeper state of relaxation. With every inhale, feel the air filling your lungs, expanding your chest, and with every exhale, feel yourself releasing tension, letting go of anything that no longer serves you. Now, in this calm space, consider how the world around you feels. Fluid, not fixed, but something that shifts, something that flows. The reality you experience right now is not static, it's alive, and it's created by your mind. You may have noticed how your perception of reality changes depending on how you feel. If you wake up feeling tired or anxious, the world might seem darker, more overwhelming. But when you feel at peace, when you're calm and centered, the same world can feel lighter, more beautiful. This is because your mind is not simply a passive observer of the world, it is actively creating the experience you have. Your brain takes the sensory information it receives, adds its own predictions, and shapes that into the reality you perceive. Think about a time when you've experienced something that felt almost magical, perhaps a walk in nature, or a conversation with someone you care about. Everything felt clear, didn't it? The colors seemed more vivid, the air felt fresher, and the world felt alive in a way that is hard to describe. That feeling, that heightened sense of reality, wasn't just a coincidence. It was your brain, at that moment, creating a version of reality that felt expansive, beautiful, and full of wonder. In that moment, your mind was open to the present, fully immersed in the experience now. Think about the times when you felt disconnected or overwhelmed. Maybe you were in a crowded place, or facing a challenging situation, and everything seemed to lose its clarity. The colors might have seemed dull, the sounds jarring, and the world around you might have felt distant, out of reach. In those moments, your mind was not open, it was clouded by worry, stress, or distraction. Your brain's natural ability to create a fluid reality was compromised, and the world became harder to navigate. But here's the wonderful truth. Just as your mind has the power to create a disorienting, uncomfortable experience, it also has the power to create a peaceful, joyful, and soothing reality. The more aware you become of this, the more freedom you will feel. Your mind is capable of shaping your experience in a way that serves your highest good, and you don't have to force anything. It happens naturally, as you allow yourself to relax and simply be. Feel this deep, peaceful awareness settle into your body. As you breathe, feel the weight of the world lift from your shoulders. The past, the future, they no longer need to hold power over you. The present moment is where everything happens, where the brain creates the reality you need in that very instant. And in this moment, you are completely at peace, knowing that the world is a dynamic, shifting place, always shaped by your mind's interpretations. Take a few more moments now, letting yourself become fully immersed in this peaceful flow of reality. You don't need to force anything to change. You don't need to make sense of everything. Just feel the comfort in knowing that your mind is constantly creating a world that supports you, that guides you, and that leads you to the experiences you need for growth and inner peace. With each breath, let the world soften. Let the illusion of time fade. Let the illusion of control dissolve. In this moment, you are free. Free from the need to hold on to anything, free from the need to define. The world in concrete terms, the world is an experience, and that experience is created by your mind, just as the waves ebb and flow. So too does your reality shift with each thought, each moment of awareness, and as you let go completely, just breathe. Allow yourself to be in the present, knowing that your mind is doing what it does best, creating the world exactly as you need it to be. You don't have to control it, you don't have to fight it. You can just be, and in that being, you'll find everything you need as you breathe in gently, feeling the air fill your lungs. Imagine that you are being carried effortlessly through time, through space, without any effort on your part. You are exactly where you need to be, right now, in this moment. There's no need to rush, no need to worry, and no need to make sense of everything. Your mind, in all its brilliance, is creating everything you need, and with each breath, you can allow the world around you to soften, becoming more and more aligned with the comfort and peace that you're feeling in this moment. As your body sinks deeper into the sensation of relaxation, begin to notice how much space you have now. Space to be, to exist without any expectations or judgment. The world outside of you, with its demands and expectations, starts to fade into the background And the only thing that matters right now is your sense of peace, your connection to the present moment. In this space, time is gentle, soft, and forgiving. The ticking of the clock becomes distant, irrelevant. You are no longer bound by its constraints. And so, as you drift deeper into this state of calm, feel the illusion of control slip away. You do not need to control your thoughts, your emotions, or even your sense of reality. Everything is unfolding, exactly as it should. You are in flow, in perfect harmony with the world around you and within you. You do not need to change anything. You do not need to make things different. You are perfect as you are in this moment. Just being dot. Think for a moment about how the self you perceive is a beautiful, ever-evolving creation. You don't need to cling to a rigid version of yourself. You are fluid, just like the world around. You, shaped by each passing moment, each experience, each breath. As you let go of the need to hold on to anything, you can feel a deeper sense of freedom, freedom to just be. You are not defined by the past or the future. You are defined by this moment, by your awareness, by your connection to the now. Take a few more slow, deep breaths, and with each one, feel the weight of the world melt away. The tension in your body dissolves, and your mind feels lighter, freer. The world you experience is yours, and it is perfectly crafted by the mind to support you, to guide you, and to bring you into peace. There is no need to worry, no need to rush, just the gentle unfolding of this moment, just the soft flow of time. In this moment, you can feel how you are both the creator and the experiencer of your world. The mind shapes and molds the reality you perceive, creating comfort, creating peace, creating exactly what you need in this very moment. Feel the beauty of this process, the comfort in knowing that you do not need to control the world. It will unfold as it will, and your mind will shape it to fit your experience in a way that keeps you safe, calm, and at peace down. As you take one last deep breath, let go completely. Feel the sense of freedom that comes from knowing that you do not need to fix anything, change anything, or hold on to anything. You are perfect as you are, and the world around you is simply the expression of your mind's beautiful creation. Let go of the tension, let go of the past, and embrace the infinite peace of simply being here, now, with all of time stretching before you in infinite possibilities.